Welcome to a pivotal moment in our lives. We're talking today about something very special and unique. Apparently our souls chose this. It's very rare because this change occurs once every 165 years, and that is Neptune entering the sign of Aries. This occurs March 30th of 2025, and Neptune will stay in Aries until 2039. Neptune is an outer planet and governs our consciousness and the collective. So it's going to change a lot of themes for many of us. Now, Neptune was in Pisces, the sign that it rules, from 2011 until 2025. And it might, it's going to go back a little bit in 2026 as well. Neptune's not going to stay in Aries in 2025. It's going to go back because of its retrograde into Pisces, the sign it rules. But we're going to taste this new era, and it's going to start strongly in 2026. Now, not only is it a very special moment in time because of this once in a 165-year transit, but we've also just had Pluto entering Aquarius, and that is a 248-year transit. So that has changed signs as well. Then, soon we're going to have Saturn move into Aries as well. So basically, almost in the same time cosmically, because it's a broader perspective, both Neptune and Saturn are going to enter Aries at the same moment. Saturn is going to enter May 25th, so 2 months after Neptune has entered Aries. But we're also going to have another outer planet. Uranus is going to change the sign in July, as well as Jupiter, who's going to change signs in June. That is a lot of changes in energy, in frequency, and therefore it's going to affect our experiences, our thoughts, our behaviors, everything. This all occurring at the same time has never, as far as we know, in astrological history, has it ever occurred before. So this is unprecedented times. This is a very rare moment that we're all in, and that is very important to understand. And I think if you're sensitive, this is how you felt, that a lot of changes, but like massive changes, are underway. And it's gonna occur very fast because it's 2025, 2026, and 2027 when this will cement, this energy will cement itself. So in only 2 years, we're going to go in a whole catapultation into a new experience, a new reality. Now, what is Neptune about? Neptune is discovered in 1846. 56 years after Uranus, the other outer planet, was discovered. And the last outer planet was discovered in the 1930s, and that was Pluto. So 1846, the world got to know Neptune. And this is, it's related to the discovery of Uranus, because in those 65 years, the world has really changed its religion, its faith. Never before, as far as we know, has there been such a religious revolution. For the first time, this is called enlightenment. People were able to believe what they wanted and not what religion told them. We can call this the New Age, where people, started to find out their own spiritualism, very different from religion, finding its own rules and techniques, energetic techniques such as what they call mesmerism or hypnotism, the different dimensions, the whole astral, the Akashic records. I mean, it has, of course, been talked about before in the history, but I think it was the first time that it affected so many people. And interestingly, simultaneously, another Neptunian aspect is secrecy and hidden aspects behind the scenes. At the same time that, you know, people got de-religionized, was the same time that a lot of new secret societies sparked its life, such as the one that's, I think, the most famous, which is the Illuminati, that was, you know, created in Bavaria. And that is actually very tied into the Neptune, tied into the Uranus discovery. But Neptune is where, you know, it went into what we now would call alternative spiritualism, such as, you know, most famous, we can say probably Madame Blavatsky and the New Age movement, and so secret societies, but they got really more and more secret. So they diminished from view by the time Neptune was discovered. Now, what's important, of course, is then because it was discovered and Neptune was then in Aquarius, it means that the first time that Neptune entered Aries was when we knew about Neptune, because it was already discovered. So the first time in our understanding that Neptune went into Aries is 1861. That was a very important year, you know, in a way globally, but it's actually about the Civil War in the United States, right? So I don't know much about it because, you know, I'm not from the States. But that was a pivotal moment, you know, the Civil War in America. So think about that. That was 1861. Neptune entering Aries. Now we're in 2025. You know, a lot has changed in those years. And then again, maybe not so much. Wars have escalated from that moment, you know. The First World War, Second World War, you know, the whole Middle East, huge conflict, huge pains that, you know, have been there for many years, unfortunately. Definitely since the First World War, actually. So not only sparked the Civil War in America, but it started actually that 165-year journey of a lot of wars. So now we are in 2025. What is Neptune in Aries going to bring us? So Neptune traditionally is about the unseen, the secrets, the mysticism, the spiritualism, faith, belief, imagination, creativity, but also illusions, deceit, cons, you know, manipulations, manipulating your subconscious. And this is where I think the last 165 years, our consciousness, our subconsciousness that Neptune rules has really come to the forefront. This is also tied into the birth of, I suppose, psychology, modern psychology as well. And, you know, in those 100 so many years, we found out what is really driving us, and that it comes from the depth, and that it has been encoded in us through very Neptunian things such as cinema, media, but even education and culture, you know. We have been in the last part, I think, of Neptune and Pisces, been deconstructing this whole manipulation of the subconscious field. And it ties even all the way back into ancestry. The reason why is because I think this time the change into Aries is going to be very special. Not only because it's going to go pair with Saturn, meaning that it's going to intertwine the normal material earthly life ruled by Saturn, and then the Neptunian spiritual soul life, coming into a new, big, new era To me, it means new soul contracts, very new experiences. And it has to come after tying or untying, I should say, cutting out, untying the ancestral, the energetic, karmic loops that many of us, all of us, were in. And that was because of the subconscious field. So the more we discovered that there is stuff way deep within us, deep within the DNA, deep within our body, in our mind, in our soul, things that we're carrying on, and finding out how to undo them, many, many ways. But a very Neptunian way would be hypnotism. I'm not a big fan of it personally, by the way, because it is open for massive manipulation. There are many other ways to reach the subconscious field. And obviously a big part of that is faith. And thanks to, its discovery, 1846, and before that, Uranus, of course, has really opened our way to free thinking, free believing, free faith, not tied to systems telling us. I mean, there are, but obviously less and less follow that, right? We make our own religion, we make our own faith. But the Neptunian journey is definitely about faith. It is the spiritual life. And so another part of reaching your subconscious mind is through prayer, the power of prayer, to recode very deep beliefs that we have carried on from anything but our really true selves. So it's external. Most of our beliefs have been rooted external, but we have internalized it, and that's the tricky part, the difficult part. But it means that if you've done it once, you can undo it, right? Now, Neptune is also about imagination, vision. This is also part of that whole manifestation journey, holding the vision, seeing what you want to believe, believing what you want to see. It's also sparked a huge creativity. Like, for instance, between the Uranus discovery and the Neptune discovery, the world has seen big composers like Beethoven, Mozart, Bach. So Neptune is also about music and poetry and all forms of arts. It's all an expression of the soul. It's all an expression of the divine, of the creator, and that we are co-creating with that. And so when Neptune moves into Aries, March 30th on, we are embarking on a very big beginning, a massive moment in time when there's a new spark of life, there's a new beginning. We're ready to move on, we're ready to move onwards into the fresh, into the light. Now, Aries is a really interesting sign. It's the first sign of the Zodiac, ruled by Mars. It is about the spark of life. In other words, that's even the sperm, okay? This is where life starts. This is the magic of creation, and that force that fuses two into one, that massive divine intervention is what leads this sign. So it's very energetic, it's very passionate, it's very much about inspiration and motivation. It's hugely active sign, acting, doing, confronting. It's fearless, and this is what we're really starting a huge journey about. We're fearless, we're daredevil, we're ready to confront everything we don't like, we don't believe in, everything that's fake and illusion. We're ready for combat. We're ready to conquer and win the truth, because Aries is a very honest, direct sign. It's about innocence, the baby, the child, the playfulness of it all. So it can make us very impulsive. It's about individualization. So, me first energy. I will decide what I believe in kind of energy. We have to be extremely alert, aware. We have to see, Aries rules the eyes and the head. It can be a very heated time, a very hot time, a very quick time that demands urgency. There is an urge that must be scratched. And we can have a lot of physical stamina to make that happen. We're in it to win it. Aries is also about the light, lighten your load and start to lead your life. Start to lead a faith, start to lead a belief. Okay, and this is also where new religious leaders might be born, or new faith might be discovered. Definitely new consciousness, and like I said, new karma, new storylines for all of us. It's a new way of seeing. It's a new way of seeing, new way of leading, new way of inspiring. And this is why we will have new beliefs and new faith. We have to keep in check of our priorities with such a huge Aries energy. We have to prioritize our soul and our spiritual life. We basically have to prioritize the divine, the creational. We have to honor that. We have to be a spirit warrior for that. We have to we have to fight for what we believe. And Aries gives us that opportunity to champion. Our liveliness will help us to survive and overcome, and we will feel such motivation, much more than when Neptune was in Pisces from 2011 until 2025. So that's a bit of a darker energy, and this is going to be a huge lighter energy where we're going to feel an acceleration and an energetic push to go and do and move forward with fierceness, with bravery, with courage. This is a moment where our innocence can be restored, or innocence needs to be followed. Innocence needs to be honored in the sense of a baby innocence, okay? We will be hugely motivated in our causes, in our actions. So time is speeding up. There is an acceleration of our experiences and maybe even literally time. This is why we will see the cause and effect of things much quicker. So we will understand that when we do something, when we think something, when we believe something, the result will come in immediately. That's actually very Aries, immediately. There's no time delay. It's instant. So I think a great way to experience this yourself, that is the case, or where you're at in this time process, to ask yourself when you're awake, when you wake up from sleep, which is Neptunian sleep, when you wake up, ask yourself or tell yourself this: I believe something wonderful is going to happen to me today. And you can, if you have a stubborn mindset, tell it 3 times to yourself. I believe something wonderful is going to happen to me today. I've done it. I've tried it, and actually I saw it immediately. I saw it within I think an hour or so. So, and this one is for you as well. This is how you can see the wonder, the magic, and the instancy, the it happening right away in front of your eyes. And so that there is a magic, and we can now see the lines, the threads that are in between beliefs, thoughts, experiences. So we can see a lot more that was unseen and hidden before. And this means that we will also see a lot of the theater play, a lot of the fiction that's going on in the collective. We might feel very disillusioned because we can see through the lies. But this is part of our transcendental path. Neptune in Aries means that we are very ambitious about our beliefs. Neptune in Aries is a time where we are very ambitious about our dreams, ambitious about our beliefs, very ambitious about co-creating, imagining, holding the vision for what you want or what you believe in, or actually what's ideal. This is about higher ideals coming into reality. This is where the adagio also goes, seeing is believing, or believing is seeing. Try out which one works for you. But like I said, it's really, the reality probably is that believing means seeing, and Neptune in Aries will help us to see that connection. So it is clear that 2025, we are embarking on a new age. So let's look a little bit deeper into Neptune Aries journey, because the birth chart will indicate us what kind of energy is more at play other than all that I've mentioned before. So March 30th, when Neptune ingresses into Aries, this is a birth chart. When you look at the chart, as you see here, what stands out right away is that there is a huge stellium of planets and points in Pisces, that which Neptune rules. But there is also a huge stellium, a lot of major players in Aries as well, which is the energy that it's embarking upon. So the conjunction, as they say, of Neptune is very vast. And the conjunction is mostly about what it rules in Pisces, namely, it's right conjunct Mercury retrograde at the end tail of Pisces. This is very interesting. Also, back in 1861, when Neptune entered Aries, it was also conjunct Mercury in Pisces. It wasn't retrograde though. So this time it's retrograde. It means, I would almost say, our mind is a little tuned out, a little tuned off. Because there is a struggle inherently between the mind, you know, the mundane, the normal consciousness, and all the rest that Neptune rules over. So it means that our mind blocks a little bit of the Neptunian topics, such as, you know, the unseen, the ununderstandable, the magic, the you know, all that we are not taught about, right? That's the Neptunian part. The subconscious, the spiritual, the soul level, or major topics, concepts such as unconditional love, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, kindness, you know, trust, faith. This is what the mind usually blocks, because it wants evidence, it wants facts, it wants to see it, it wants it somewhere to be written, and a bunch of people saying this is the right thing, jury or whatever. Our mind is a little bit off, doesn't understand, and perhaps blocks the Neptunian stuff. So interestingly, that literally in this chart, our mind is a little out of tune, out of its normal ways, because it's in tune with the Piscean ways that Neptune rules. So our mind is forced in this chart to look into the spiritual life, into the intuition, non-factual. This is about, what do you feel? What is your intuition telling you? What are you praying about? What is the stillness conveying you? What is the solitude bringing you? You know, this is a whole different way of gathering information, something that Mercury generally doesn't like, not in this way. So we're forced to do it alternatively and, you know, tap into the magic, into the unseen, into the spiritual life. And right next to it, another retrograde. Venus is retrograde, almost conjunct Mercury retrograde. So this is, you know, our internal life about love, relationships, our worth, our values, our self-esteem, our sense of beauty, also creativity, the lower octave of love, right? But it also rules over money, possessions. And so that is out of tune as well, or in tune into the Piscean. So this is about asking yourself what's valuable in an unseen way, what's valuable to you from a spiritual perspective, what's valuable to you energetically. How can you, you know, move up in the octaves into a higher octave and find all-encompassing, big love, unconditional love, empathy, compassion, and how can that increase your self-worth, your value, your values. And so that's going to change the possession part and the possessions you own, and well, it's going to change what you find important, and therefore it's also going to change your finances and all that, and your relationships, right? So that's where Venus is at, and this is all conjunct this Neptune, okay, albeit in Pisces. And then we have the North Node in Pisces, very fated, very destined. This is karma as well, you know, cleaning up the karma, moving into new dimensions, moving into new timelines. Yeah, it's really just like the rest of them, stepping into your spiritual power, into your intuitive power, into your soul understanding, higher consciousness, awareness. And there we have also Saturn, because this is an outer planet, and so 6 degrees still is of value in a conjunction. So, and this of course is very meaningful because Saturn is going to move into Aries as well in 2 months' time. So this is, you know, our tangible reality, our systems of power, authority, of what we have seemed right or rightful, you know, even systems of faith, sorry, maybe fate as well, karmic, yeah, Saturn is about the karma. So, it's about the hard work, about the legacy, you know, all of this is changing and has to be upgraded, says the universe, and this is what we see in the chart. So this is all conjunct Neptune, and it's all conjunct, and also the top, the point, the apex of a kite formation. A kite is a geometrical pattern, and it points to this Neptune and all its conjunctions. On the opposite side, we have the South Node in Virgo, and you know, the triangle on top of the kite is made through this Neptune sextiling Pluto, as well as sextiling Uranus. Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are all outer planets, right? Like I said, they rule collective consciousness, energy. So it's really the age we live in. You know, it marks an age. It's clear. It marks history and future. And this is why we say, you know, big events like enlightenment and changes in faith and even music occurred when, you know, Uranus was discovered, when Neptune was discovered, when Pluto was discovered. You know, the level of destruction of atomic bombs, never used before as far as we know in current history. you know, this changed everything. And so this is going to change everything. We are embarking on a new age that's going to mark history books, okay? But we're in the presence of it. We're in the currency of it right now. We are embarking on a new age. And this kite formation tells us all. And we need to fly off into the Neptunian direction, of course, as this big push from March 30th on will really be felt. It will change our experiences. It will change the timelines. It will change everything, and you will feel it. You will see it with Aries. You know, it's a very different time. I mean, of course, Neptune Aries is not just fighting for what you believe in a very innocent way, but unfortunately can also be wars, right? Like the Civil War back in 1861. But I feel that in the last 165 years, our level of understanding has truly increased. And we're more aware of everything than ever before. And quantum science is a proof of that. You know, we are in a post period of Einstein, Tesla, you know, let's not forget that. So we are in a very different quantum vision. And so it's not going to be like in 1861, definitely not. It's a huge upgrade, and this shows us in the kite pattern, right? And we have to follow the Neptunian Aries road of passion, of light, of warriorness, of fearlessness, of championing, overcoming, and moving on into a very fresh, exciting start of our new chapter, new era. This is where we have to find our light, and we have to light our path. It's time to ignite your soul and to walk it in your own unique way. So much leveling up in consciousness and frequency means that this is also an opportunity with Neptune and Aries to get out of stagnation, which is a wordplay I made about stagnation, right? Get out of your own way and get out of your stagnation, because Aries is not going to have that. We have to move out, move through, fight through, and you know, we'll feel the rush, we'll feel the urge. We're excited and motivated to start this new chapter and accelerate, move on up into higher experiences. That's going to change the history books in a whole new dynamic. And the thing is, I can't tell you what it is because it's unwritten, you know? This is where you write your own new story. This is where you write the history books. This is where you are in charge and you have the agency to do this. You are the actor in the new play. So, you know, it's time to direct it. It's time to own it. You're in charge, okay? So every individual decision, every individual faith, every individual belief, every individual chase of dreams, of spiritual warriorism is going to write that new history chapter, okay? So it's up to you. And yes, you matter. Your choice is going to have the consequences. So that's where we're at. It's a whole new age, and anything can happen, really. It's interesting, when Neptune moves into Aries, the sun is in Aries because it's one day after an eclipse. And this is also very, very important to know. So March 29th, we have a solar eclipse. So the sun and moon are conjunct. This means, because it's a solar eclipse, a whole new page, a whole new storyline in Aries, and it occurs around 9 degrees of Aries. So that's why the sun is at 10 degrees, because it's the day after the eclipse. So it means we have birthed a whole huge light frequency vibration of possibilities and opportunities. And this is when Neptune goes into Aries. Wow, that's turbo power, that's steroids, that's activation of the highest level possible. This is also why the moon is also in Aries when Neptune moves into Aries. So we're feeling the Aries fire and heat and inspiration and motivation, and again, that urge very highly. There's a lot going on in Aries. Of course, there's also Chiron there. And this Chiron and moon are also squaring Mars in the crab. Now, this is the only difficulty and an indication of a bit of a wartime, okay? Or at least a revolt or a change in the game. Moon is the people. Chiron is deep wounds, insecurities, hurts, trauma. Mars is what rules over Aries, so it's all that fighting and all that motivation and doing and activism. And it's in the crab, which is about security, the home, nourishment, safety, comfort, but also ancestry, heritage, roots, country, and all that. So in one hand, this is a great push to move through that ancestral shit, like I said, and to get out of it, right? To break free and create a new safety, a new home, a new feeling good, new heritage, okay? But on the other hand, it can come across, unfortunately, as experiences where there are security issues, homeland security issues, you know, changing of borders, so fighting over borders, fighting over land, fighting over the people, fighting over homes, and yeah. So there is an issue of safety a little bit, okay, yeah. But on the other hand, this same Mars is trining the North Node and Venus, and the orb is a little bit high, but if you want to be positive, it's actually also even trining a bit of that Neptune energy. So, you know, like I said, it's time to write new, start new, a whole storyline. It's up to you. It's up to you to really release the karma, the heritage, the pain, the trauma that has been with you or your family for a very long time. This is where you can cut ties because of the solar eclipse to move into new territory. And the home can be within. The home can be you. And this is why you need to put yourself first and honor yourself first. Okay, that's the Aries energy. So it's about self-dependence, right? First, you need to trust yourself first. You need to depend on you first. And this is how you're going to write your own story, where you're the leader, where the magic is because you decide so. And remember, there are a few tricks, like I said earlier, you can say to try and see if it works. I believe something wonderful is going to happen to me today. It's an active time. You need to be in it to win it. It's time to conquer. It's time to embody your spiritual warrior side, okay? What are you fighting for? You need to fight for your dreams. You need to fight what you believe in. You need to fight for what is right. And I'll tell you what I discovered is that it happens, you manifest when you highly concentrate, highly focus like a laser beam, your energy. So the moment you concentrate and laser focus your energy, you can make anything happen. This is the magic. This is what we need to step into. This is what you can from now on do if you're ready. If you're ready for that journey, for that road. Because it's fast, like Aries, it's instant. When you concentrate your energy, you can move through barriers and you can move mountains, okay? That's all I have for you. Neptune and Aries, super exciting. One for the history books. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment if you like this video and tell me what you think Neptune and Aries is going to be about, and make sure to see where this falls in your chart, because that's what's being activated for you. That's the topic that you're going to move and lead into if you want, as quickly as you can. If you want, as quickly as possible. So, exciting times, Neptune and Aries. Take care. Bye.